Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Angie.
And together we are TwinFinity.
We're twin flames in union who've been sharing our journey through a series of videos. This is now video number 38. Interestingly enough, called The Anxiety, the Ice Axes, and the Narcissist, which is why you'll see we have some ice axes behind us.
So anyway, where we are actually north of Calgary. We are not in the mountains. We're at a little valley and area called the Big Hill Springs Park. Yes, it's got a spring that feeds a creek that is actually quite pretty to hike through.
Yeah.
Just one of these areas where you can actually prove that you don't have to go all the way to the mountains to enjoy beautiful scenery. You might recall that we struggled a little bit with noise in the background from our computer, let's say 5, 6, 10, 12, 15 videos ago. Okay, so what do? We fix the noise in the background of our computer, only to just reintroduce noise right behind us, again, to struggle with. So, okay, we get to speak loud again, but at least it's for a good cause.
Well, and this is going to be like a bit of an interesting video. I mean, when your title is The Anxiety, Ice Axes, and Narcissist, it's an interesting video. So we figure some healing water will be beneficial.
And also, we may actually have to take a couple of breaks along the way because we have bugs. We have lots of ants in our area. We might just have to stand up for a little bit and just shake off some ants and continue on. So don't be surprised if that happens.
The joy of doing videos in nature.
And also, we have got a lot of forest fire smoke. This is record-breaking forest fire smoke around us. You can't barely see more than a half a mile. It's just really plugged up. The forest fires will go out as soon as fall arrives, but for now, yeah, we got a lot of smoke. So anyway, do we have anything else?
No, I think we'll just dive in because we have a bit to cover. So
okay, and we also have a possibility of darkness encroaching on us.
Oh, yeah,
we're doing this in the
that.
evening,
right? And we have like faded sun because of forest fire.
So a recap of video number 37. Last video was the move-in slow version, well-described version, as opposed to video 36 where we just zipped in and moved in.
Yeah.
So last recap, on March 2nd, 2015, we moved in together and we're enjoying the magic of being in union. The bubble of love, the magnetic draw to each other, and the ease of living together.
Yeah.
And only 3 days into it, though, things changed. We started experiencing challenges.
Oh, God.
External challenges, but challenges nonetheless. Angie's karmic found out about it, that I had moved in, and got so upset that he came to my place of work to embarrass and lash out at me. Because he and Angie's phones had been connected, he also had all of Angie's contact information. So he started texting me and also called my home phone number, which had my karmic still living at it. They got to compare notes.
Oh, boy.
Angie and I were completely busted. And all the lies, well-meaning or not, attempting to smooth over rough edges, all the lies we told came out. I also had the challenge of my mom getting sicker from terminal cancer and the concern of losing my friends due to not being exactly 100% truthful with them either. You know, all this protectionism ended up coming back to hurt big time. With everything that was going on, I was a little concerned that I couldn't handle it all. No, I was a lot concerned that I couldn't handle it all, and I decided to see a counselor for help. Okay.
All right. So, first of all, I just have to say I wore my angels today because this probably is the most traumatizing video we have to do. And, we need all the help we can get. So we brought along the angels. Now, what's so cool, though, about this path, it is just constantly miraculous. Synchronicities galore. I mean, I know you guys are on the same journey, so you're experiencing synchronicities too. And even through the challenges, there's so many gifts and blessings. And I have to tell you, I just experienced one last week. The night before we did our last video, I had this amazing synchronicity happen to me that answered so many questions about the video last week that we just did in explaining about karmics and the challenges and all of the things that started happening. And it even makes more sense now that we're doing this video. I actually just discovered the term narcissist really is not just a term. I used to think, because you hear this term in the twin flame community so much, I just thought blah blah, another term to give people, another label, really means nothing. I never did research it. I never really knew nothing about it. Because of this fascinating synchronicity that just happened to me though, I started researching narcissism and discovered that is exactly the relationship that I was in with my karmic. And I can't tell you how healing it's been, not only to do these videos, but also to learn that and to discover all the truths about it and understand why I attracted that. Why I wanted to share this is because I know so many of you from our last video commented that you're going through similar struggles with your own karmics. So I wanted to share the fact that the whole narcissistic thing is real, at least for me. I can't speak for anybody else. But it definitely, I've had my whole experience validated by learning about this. And what I wanted to share with this is that we are not victims to this. We attract everything into our lives for our own lessons, our own growth. And I have gotten so many blessings and growth out of that relationship that I'm still getting now, even 3 years out of it. So know that if you're in such a relationship, or even if you're not in a relationship like that, but you're still with somebody who may be challenging or demanding a lot of you, it's always a gift. There's always a blessing in it when we choose to see it. So on that note, going forward with our video, just a bit to explain before we get in, because otherwise it won't make sense. I was being guided with my karmic. When I would meditate every night, I was being told, ignore everything that he is feeding you. He was giving me all sorts of cruel texts, then there was loving texts. There was cards in the mail for a happy birthday. There was cards thanking me for the relationship. Then there was evil texts again and a lot of meanness. And my inner guidance kept telling me, ignore all of it. And I didn't know why, but I trusted it, and that's exactly what I did. However, later I started thinking my inner guidance was wrong because it just made things more challenging. Now I see the gifts and I understand why it all makes sense. So what had happened is, because I was silent, he was not getting the reaction he needed, so he had to push it further and further and further. To finally it got to the point where he was threatening to sue me. And now this is where we'll kind of pick up in our story, reading our texts. And also just to let you know, all of the names we use, we've said this before, but just to reiterate, all the names we use are not real names. We've, of course, protected everybody's identities, so just so you know that.
And me being so inventive, usually I am, but I wasn't, I just gave my karmics numbers.
Karmic 1 and Karmic 2.
Karmic 1 and Karmic 2.
I found it easier to name mine, so they have names. So,
just one thing before we get started.
Yeah.
Was there anything on here that we wanted to mention before we got started?
No, I thought that'll might flow later.
Okay.
I just made notes as I was thinking about them.
We got notes again all over the place, so I'm going, does this matter, does that matter? I see hearts.
That's already for next video. I've already got notes for the next video. My brain just thinks of all these things, and I'm like, oh, write it down. Great idea. Anyway, this is now April 8th of 2015 in our story. So I had texted Rob that morning and said, question, do you think the lawyer you've used for your karmic, because him and his karmic now had to have lawyers to split up assets and sell the house, all of that stuff. So I said, do you think the lawyer you used would talk to me about Regan stuff just to give me some advice as to see if he has any sort of a case and if there's anything I should do to be proactive? Just feeling it might be worthy to talk to someone else to ease my fears. What's your thoughts?
I said, I think it is a very good idea to get legal advice. Just very good. It was all very scary to us.
Yes. And then you said?
Oh, yes. I was getting ready to make another trip up to Edmonton.
because his parents were really sick.
Yeah, and I said, by the way, confirmed, Edmonton for Sunday for both of us.
So not only did we have the challenges of my karmic and now possible lawsuit, we were also going to Edmonton, which was 3.5 hours away from where we live, almost every Sunday.
Because my parents, well, my mom for sure was really sick, and my dad wasn't looking that great either. There was something going on there too.
Yeah. So brand new in Union. I mean, we'd only lived together a month, and already we've just got challenge after challenge after challenge coming our way. Oh, okay. So now I said to him, hi, I just finished with our counselor. So he had started seeing the counselor, and I decided I should go too because of all these challenges I was experiencing with my karmic, who just wasn't letting things go. I needed to talk to somebody too.
So we were seeing the same counselor together and also separately as individuals.
Yes. So fresh in Union, and everybody's like, what? You're like, who sees a counselor when they're brand new in Union? Well, Union isn't always a nice, smooth, easy transition like you hope for.
At least things between us, specifically, were looking really good at that point.
Yes.
And we were clinging to that for all it was worth.
But we were also wanting to make sure we kept it good, despite all of these things that we had going on outside of our own relationship. We wanted to make sure we kept everything as healthy as possible. So we started going to see a counselor together.
Yeah.
I
don't think you read that.
You just explained it, so I didn't need to.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So then I was like, oh bleep, I think I just saw Regan. Just taking the dog out, and I think he was at the neighbor's. Totally shaking now. Oh, so you said?
I said, bleep. Just a thought. Did he resign his position on the board already? We have a situation where we live in an area where they have a board for looking after stuff.
It's kind of like a homeowners association.
Okay.
So
I said, did he resign his position on the board already? Or is he going to pull a stunt and show up at the next board meeting in person to do so? And yes, close all the blinds, lock the doors, hide. Keep in touch.
We were in tremendous fear by this point. Which is why the ice axes, they're going to come into the story in a bit.
We'll explain these little chunks of equipment a little later.
Yes. I'm in oversensitive mode right now. Love you and thanks for your support during my fear freakout this morning. Still rattled, but better.
We are both sensitive after this morning. Ice axes stay under the bed until mid-May now. LOL. I love you. We were actually very afraid of intrusions from her karmic, from Regan. We never thought we would need to use them, but we, underneath both of our sides of the bed, I had the tall one, she had the small one. We had ice axes under the bed. We were ready to fight if required.
We were just really that scared. Actually, our whole neighborhood was kind of scared.
People were talking to us.
Yeah.
They were all very concerned as well. And my karmic had mentioned that she was afraid that we would get murdered. We shared that last video.
Yeah.
So yeah, a little bit of safety under the bed. Even to even, good enough.
And now discovering narcissism, I so understand all this. Okay, that's you again.
That's me again. Oh, thanks for the snuggle in this morning. Some people have sleep-ins. We'd have snuggle-ins.
Now this is where you can explain that if you want.
Okay, that's where the sticky note comes in.
Yeah.
We have what's called a snuggle alarm. We have an alarm that goes off 15 minutes before we actually have to start to get up. Usually it's me that has to start to get up.
Yeah.
So the first alarm goes off, and that gives us a 15-minute chance to snuggle, get all tangled up, hands, legs, whatever.
Where our bodies merge together, that melting thing that you got going on.
And then we have the second alarm, which is you actually get up, have a shower, eat breakfast, get ready to go to work alarm. So yeah, I said thanks for the snuggle in this morning. I actually prefer those to sleeping in because we get to talk. I'm looking forward to a grocery trip tonight. I might not have to go up every aisle.
Now you can explain that too if you wish.
I go up every aisle just in case I forgot to write something down on the grocery list. That's me. Now, it might be fast. Zip, 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 zip. But, yeah, okay. She's got me partially trained out of that now. We don't have to go up the laundry soap aisle if we don't need laundry soap.
Somebody asked us recently, do you guys fight about anything? And we're like, we don't really fight. We have disagreements. And the funniest disagreements we have, or really the only disagreements we really have, are in the grocery store about milk. Because I like to buy extra milk. Because then I got some for a while. Because sometimes in between grocery shopping, and this is kind of off topic, but we're going to share the goofy things of Twin Flames. In between like a big grocery shopping, I'll just stop in and pick up a few things. Well, I don't want to pick up milk because it's heavy and I'm usually walking home. So I like to stock up on milk. And Rob's always like, we don't need that much milk. And he always wants to buy
cheese.
And I'm like, we don't need that much
like
cheese.
Big bars and bricks of cheese. It's no wonder I'm not orange.
So this is what we argue about. We don't really argue. We just have discussions in the grocery store.
And you know, we've got light switches and brightness and light bulbs too. Oversensitive, likes it dark. I like it light. I'd like to see where I'm going.
So really, this is life in the TF world. Your biggest arguments are cheese, light bulbs, and milk.
And milk, yeah.
It's really not that bad.
Okay. Oh, I'm at work and I'm saying I'm having a day which I really don't want to be here and I would much rather be with you. I think these 6 days a week working are wearing thin on me. A couple of good sleeps would also help. Oh, your bad sleep last night had one benefit. We snuggled more. I like that.
So you can see we're trying to find the positives out of the stress. I wasn't sleeping because I was so stressed about the whole karmic thing.
Okay.
And I said, TF moment, LOL. Yes, our snuggles were nice, even if I was so tired and couldn't fully enjoy them. I feel better today, though, on the stress and anxiety side of things. The meditation I did last night really helped. Cleaned out old energy from my cells and put new, healthy, positive energy in. I feel lighter today and much less anxious. Hope that feeling stays. So this is now the next day, which is April 20th of 2015. And even though I had just said, I feel better, not so much better again. I said, oh my God, Regan is at my work lobby. I saw his car, so I called my coworker who let me in the side door. I'm standing in the hall, shaking, so afraid to go in. Is this ever going to end? What I found out later is he was trying to serve me court papers.
And I said, bleep, no, I guess not. Not until we have restraining orders. Call the cops. I have my work on alert. He shows up, I'm calling the cops. Bleep, bleep, bleep. I also said, contact your lawyer with this info as a sidebar. I was upset.
Well, and I was just so stressed, as you can well imagine.
I think that we both had the shakes again.
Yes. And the only thing that made us feel safe, as silly as it might sound, is ice axes under our bed. It just gave us some sort of false, maybe, security. And I said I had a bad time with the shakes too and had a cry. My supervisor talked me to calmness, mostly, but I still have the shakes. Yes, I think I'll have to get a restraining order. Scares me to do so because I don't want to fuel him more, but at least I know my intuition is correct. Work has been where I feel the worst because I kept feeling he'd come here. After my meditation this morning, I actually heard him in my head saying, I'll never let you go. I felt freaked by it, but then just told myself it was just my imagination and not real. Guess now it was real. Bleep.
And I said, I will not demand any course of action from you, though from your end, I will happily hound him with the legal system. I would still consult with you before doing so. I have zero compassion for bullying/terrorism. That's a dangerous word to use nowadays, but still, that's what it felt like.
That's what it felt like, yes. I have just sent the lawyer an email asking if a restraining order is the way to go. I will be cautious to avoid Regan until my lawyer appointment tomorrow, to find out if he even has grounds to take me to court. Then I will do the restraining order if that's what's best. I will call the police at lunch when I have some privacy and at least get further facts as to what I have to do and what my rights are. I don't want to do anything without legal/police advice, as I don't want to react in fear and make things worse, but I also don't want to sit back and be terrorized for the rest of my life. I do know I'm not in the right frame of mind to make the proper decisions, which is also why I want legal and police advice. So I was glad that I was aware that I wasn't necessarily centered enough to know what I should do, and that I was, going to do my human due diligence, but also do my spiritual due diligence in getting centered before making any decisions. I didn't want to react, I wanted to act out of proper knowledge.
Just as reassurance, and also to express where I was, I said, I am feeling reasonably calm and strong. I love you and I'm feeling 100% good about us. Big hugs, girl. Yes, we will get through this. Keep me posted. I'm getting drawn into work right now, so I might be silent or much more short in my responses.
And, isn't that nice when, it's so validating when you're going through tremendous stress that somebody that loves you so much will at least be honest and say, I'm with you, but I'm at work. I may not be able to reply. So at least I'm not waiting for him going, oh God, are you just like him? Because of course, when you're in that deep triggered state, you almost don't know what's real and what's not real, and who's good and who's not good, and who you can trust and who you can't. You're so in a triggered state of fear, but to have somebody this kind and loving, so beneficial. I said, I'm glad you feel strong and calm. I do not. I feel exhausted and fearful. But I have already started making notes from December 31st, when Regan and I agreed to split, up until now. I will type them out tonight, along with having supporting facts like contracts, emails, texts, etc., so the lawyer has all the facts. I want to be as prepared as possible for tomorrow, as it's clear Regan isn't going to let this go. I'm going to need to be prepared. I feel sick about this, but I got to find the strength to end this once and for all. Of course, what I wanted to do was just cower and hide, but I was realizing it wasn't working. I had to pull up my socks, suck it up, and start fighting my battles. Not in a mean way, but stand up for myself. I said, I understand you need to work. No worries, me too. Trying to focus when I can get the shakes to stop. This is why we explained the shakes to you before, because they become a common term in our existence.
Ah, you're still up here.
Oh, I'm here. So I was right. Regan was just here at the house. Rang the doorbell. I didn't answer, but checked after. Taped to the door is an envelope with my name on it in his handwriting. Didn't even touch it. Too scared. Weep. Glad for a lawyer's appointment tomorrow.
Okay. I said, give him time to clear the area. Get envelope. Read content sometime before lawyer appointment. Don't shake if possible. Good luck with that.
Yeah, good advice, but yeah, no.
Communicate with Regan as per lawyer recommendation. You and I will be together in 3 hours.
So we were starting to realize the reaction from him was over the top of what, it should be in terms of somebody who's just found out about us, right? Yes, we had told lies. Yes, we had deceived. But this was now kind of past what we expected was rational behavior. So we were just trying to figure out, how do we proceed? I said, an awesome quote I just read. Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. Love it. So, so true. Again, that's why it's all a blessing. They're gifts. Might not seem so in the midst of it, but there's so much gifts in all of this.
I said, maybe I'm feeling down today. Maybe I'm tired. Maybe there's too much happening too fast. Or maybe I just deserve to see that things are really just sucky and that feeling slightly sad may be realistic.
The ever optimist trying to realize that things just might be sucky.
I hate admitting things are sucky. There's always at some corner of brightness.
They were sucky.
I also added, at least my relationship with you continues to be ever-strengthening pillar of happiness. Thank you for being you. Love you.
And I said, "Ah, so sweet. Your comment about relationships, or our relationship being a pillar of strength, is so sweet. Yes, despite all the BS, we continue to grow stronger and closer together. Yay for us. I love you."
Oh, yeah. Also, I still had my friends to worry about, too. My friends, I'll just abbreviate as B and P. Gonna eventually confirm that B and P met Regan in person through my karmic. Need to remind myself that Regan is unlikely to buy any place in our neighborhood.
So he was actually in our neighborhood quite frequently. We found out later he was talking with neighbors trying to buy in our neighborhood to create more fear in us, to keep the drama going.
Can you imagine if having someone who we were struggling with living within eyesight of our front window? We were afraid of that too.
It was terrifying.
More shakes.
Yep. Yeah, I totally understand. I spent a lot of my day keeping my thoughts calm and positive, trying to remember all the positive things I'm being told. I haven't been let down yet with all that I've been told with us. In other words, in my meditations. With all that went on before move out, etc. So I'm doing my best to stay calm and positive and believe that it's over and done with soon. Love you. And then I said, again, I love you, my dear. This is a new day. I love you, my dear. Have a great day. Hug.
I said, enjoy your day too. Thanks for the hug. My dad's health is weighing heavy on my mind this morning. Work stupid busy already. Just want this work day to end peacefully. And it just might. Love you lots. See you tonight. When we had gone to Edmonton, it was very obvious that my dad was really struggling with his health too. He was looking weak, he was talking slower,
Yeah.
and he, at that point, was only in his mid-70s. So it was a little too early for all of that.
Yeah.
Angie had met both of my parents.
Now, many
now.
times. Yeah, because we
Yes.
were going almost every weekend to visit them just to, take care of them, help, spend time with them.
Angie had met my parents that 17 years earlier. My dad didn't remember her. My mom, when she first saw Angie, went, "Oh yes, I think I remember you."
Yeah.
In her slow, tired voice.
Yes. And it was such a gift for me. If you've been following our story from the beginning, you remember that when Rob and I broke up, one of the things I said to him that I was going to miss the most was his parents. I loved his parents, and it was such a gift to get to see them again and spend quality time with them before that they were gone. So it was cherished time, even though it was stressful to be driving 3.5 hours. We would leave at like 6 in the morning on a Sunday and not come home till 10 o'clock at night because it was a 3.5 hour drive one way. Plus we'd spend the day with them and then drive home late at night. So it was a long day those Sundays. And then you were working 6 days a week on top of that.
Yeah, sure. I was working Monday to Saturday, drive to Edmonton and back.
Yep.
Monday to Saturday, drive to Edmonton and back.
So lots going on, brand new in Union, and just so many challenges. So I said, yes, I too have been thinking a lot of this morning of both your mom and dad. Honestly starting to wonder if either of them was going to make it much longer. I guess it's best to just look at one day at a time and be thankful for the time we do have with them.
I said, agreed. No guarantee that Mom will go first.
Okay, so now, if you remember from our last video, my karmic had contacted Rob's karmic, and they were now kind of in cahoots trying to gang up on us together. And one of the things they had used to kind of scare us was saying that they had our texts. They had read all of our texts over the past couple years, which was our first tip-off that clearly you don't have that because we haven't been texting for a couple of years. But anyway, I said, in reply to Rob, we were talking about this whole fact of them having our texts. I said, you know, I don't know if I just feel so scared that I'm calm or if I feel calm because they really don't have the info. Either way, I think I just feel so tired that I just can't worry anymore. What will be will be. If they have the text, what's the worst that could happen? So what? They know we talked of TF stuff. They know we talked of not wanting to have an affair, which is true. So I'm like, great, if you have our text, you know the truth. We didn't do the horrible things you think we did. They both realize we are TFs and wanted and need to be together. That we talk kindly of them at times and not so kindly of them at times. That we met at coffee shops and airports and stuff like that. Did we commit a crime worth going to court over? Nope. So it is what it is. I can't believe that your karmic would have the text and read all of the things and yet not reference certain things. I hope I stay this way instead of getting all stressed, but for now, I'm just like, whatever. In other words, I'm like, they've hit us with so much stress that I'm like, it was starting to not affect me as much.
There's also a little bit of, there was so much stress going on that if you tried to face it all, you'd have an emotional breakdown.
Completely. So it's almost like you had to compartmentalize things. So now this is May 11th, and we had more challenges. I said, I just made a hard phone call. Called the lady hosting Conversations with God tonight and said I wasn't coming. Feeling sad. So again, if you've been following our story from actually the very, very beginning, the very first story video we did, I talked about the book Conversations with God that I discovered way back in 1997. That book, and the books, there was a series of them, impacted my life so much that many years later, when I was with my karmic back in, I think, 2014, 2013, 2012, somewhere in there, I had created a Conversation with God study group because the books were so important and so valuable with knowledge that I wanted to study them. I didn't want to just read them and put them back on the shelf. So now with everything going on with my karmic though, because he was in this group too, I felt I just could not go. That would just be too triggering for both of us. So I had to surrender the group that I had created and walk away from it. And it was very heartbreaking. It was a huge loss for me. But that's part of this path is again, the unconditional love, knowing, you know, what you value and what you don't, what needs to go and what you can keep. That was part of what had to go for me.
I still feel sad about that even to today. But really, there was no real other great way to go.
No. And you know what, on my journey, I didn't know at the time, but I was ready to let it go because now my studies are all about twin flameism. And yes, Conversation with God is always impactful and will always be impactful in my life. But it's taken me as far as I need to go and I'm ready to step forward.
So what I said to Ange was, yes, very sad. One or the other between the two of you had to miss out on your group. Yeah. And sadly, it was you. I hope that the spirit and intent of the group can continue with the guidance of the others. Other flip.
Other flip, yep.
You know, I can't remember what was happening, but I said,
oh, yes.
I'm feeling bad about this morning. Please talk to me. I texted that from work.
Yes. So now we had our very first challenge between us. This was now just May 12th. Because we had so much going on, we were both exhausted from too much work, from parental stuff, from karmic stuff. And so as Rob was moving in, he was like unpacking little bits and then moving boxes all over, and everything was just chaotic in the house. And I was already feeling chaotic within myself. I needed order in the house. And because he was moving in and unpacking, there was just chaos everywhere. So it was causing me stress, so I expressed that to him, probably not in the most balanced, healthy way. And so now he had left for work and we weren't, you know, that happy with each other. I mean, it wasn't a huge fight or anything.
It was just our first little rough patch.
Yes.
Even though it was probably like 400 grit sandpaper, which is really, really fine, it was still sandpaper.
Yeah.
I didn't like the feeling.
No. So I said, hugs to you, my love. We are fine. Just because we disagree and get annoyed with each other doesn't mean we're not okay. We're tired, we're stressed and frustrated with all we have going on. It's all good. These things are just part of life, and these times are for our growth, helping us learn of each other, communicating better, and growing together. Growing pains are all part of the process. It's okay. Never forget or doubt that I love you very much, even if I am pissed off. Hug. So it's just reassurance for you that, just because you're in a twin flame relationship, it doesn't mean everything's going to be perfect and smooth all the time. There's still rough patches, but you work through them.
Oh, wow. I texted Ange. Dad is in hospital.
Yeah. And I said, oh my God, what's the scoop with him? Do you know?
I said, arrhythmia issue, heart issues. My dad had had a run with cancer about 6 years before that, and the chemotherapy had really taken a toll on his heart. And now the heart was becoming a big issue.
Yeah. So I replied just saying, love you, like just trying to send him some love.
I said, I love you too. I'm looking forward to tonight. I leave work at 5, and I'm going to spend the whole evening with you. I've missed you during the past 2 days with us being so busy. Mwah. Nice big kiss.
Yes, missing you too. Confirmed our appointment, 6:30 tonight. So this was a counseling appointment.
Counseling appointment. Still doing that too.
Let's just of everything else.
Stay busy now. Let's not have any time to rest.
We're just trying to keep ourselves put together through all of this. And to complicate things even more, I said, so there's time to do another storage load before or after. So Rob still hadn't fully moved in. He still had a bunch of his stuff in storage. And every couple of days he was bringing a load home and unpacking more. And I mean, just our lives it was madness.
It was just
really.
Chaos. Get up, do lots, go to bed, sleep. Get up, do lots, go to bed, sleep.
We can laugh about it now, but it wasn't laughable then, let me tell you. And that was only 3 years ago. Like, it's hard to believe it was just 3 years. So
Page 555.
Oh yeah, 555.
I just noticed that.
I just text Rob, just so you're prepared, red car is next door. Ugh.
Oh.
Red car meant karmic partner. So again, he was next door at the neighbor's, trying to swoon the neighbor into selling his place.
Now this is next door in an attached, like, duplex. The attached portion of next door.
Yes.
Really next door.
Yes.
A cinder block wall away next door. I wasn't very happy with that.
You can imagine the shakes we had over that one.
Ice axes stayed under the bed.
Yes, they did. So I said, I'm feeling sad, discouraged, and disconnected from my soul and true purpose. Feeling like we've gotten lost in the rat race of life. Guess it's just the way it is right now. I hope it gets better.
Oh, I said yes, there is no time or energy for anything other than slogging through, moving and all the work and human relations issues. Moving and work will repair to a stable level over the next couple of months. We'll likely see an improvement on all fronts very soon as we get past the worst of everything we are enduring. Love you, and big hugs, girl. One other thing I'd like to just say is, I had been in just a little bit of touch with my karmic too, and I had mentioned to her that we were sleeping with ice axes under our bed. A little while later, I had received a text from Regan that included the words, ice axes aren't enough, which confirmed to me that those two were still in contact.
Yes.
There's only one way that message would get to him.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. So I said, I'm having a terrible, anxious day. I have put positive words and sayings around my computer just to help me stay calm. Not working too well yet. What's funny, I still have these. They've been sitting stuck to my work desk at home ever since. So I'll just show it to you. if you can see it. So it says miracles. I can't even read it backwards. Miracles, peace, abundance, freedom, and then I put like all of it is love. So just trying to remind myself, again, intention, right? We are creators. We are not victims. And I knew that, so I was trying to pull myself out of the fearful energy, and I was surrounding myself with all sorts of things to keep going, keep growing, stay positive. Okay, I got a big note here to read to myself. Let's see what I said.
Big note. I'll just let her read it.
Oh, yes. So similar to what I was sharing before, each time I would meditate, I was being told, do not react. So we weren't replying to Regan's texts. We weren't replying to any of the drama. And it just fueled things. It made him go further and further and further, which we didn't know at the time it was going to do that. Had I known at the time that that guidance was going to give me that reaction, I wouldn't have followed that guidance. But it was the best guidance, and you'll find out why probably next video. Okay, so because we weren't reacting, he took things further and actually went to the point of having a lawsuit against me, filing it in the legal system. So I said, lawyer appointment done. She will file a counterclaim. Next will be sort of a mediation type meeting with the judge, him and me and my lawyer, probably in a few months. I read her his newest text informing her of the truth about us and told her this is not about money for him, it's about revenge. She said he can't use any of that. The judge will make him focus on the task at hand only. So I'm like, okay.
Because Angie doesn't drink real alcohol, I said, we need a bottle of de-alcoholized wine for tonight. For this is the start of a long psychological war. May Creator have compassion for all of us.
Oh, God.
Love you lots, girl. You and I will outlast this foolishness.
So you're going to see, that's the magic of TF love, right? Like, you still find humor in the most chaotic situations, and you honor the love that you have, knowing that it's strong and it will outlast anything. Okay, you've already explained the snuggle alarm, so don't worry about that little note.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. The following is a random but heartfelt and loving ramble. LOL. I have to warn her when I'm going to ramble, as if she can't see it's a long text already.
Yeah.
My love, I completely understand that you're running in burnout mode right now. I feel the intense need to let you know that I love you, and that if you sleep through our alarms and miss snuggling, I'm okay. I understand. You missed this morning's snuggle, but I didn't.
Aww.
I still got to snuggle you. Someday I will be too tired to appreciate our wonderful routines. I love you. I said that in capital letters. Sorry, I texted that in capital letters. And we will get to hug and snuggle. We will get hug and snuggle time tonight. You were apologetic for being tired this morning. I know that I am not in any way, offended or concerned that you are resting every second that you can. I understand. You warned me that this could happen. I see it. I get it. I love you.
Wow. And I said, oh, my love, you so amaze me and touch my heart so deeply. I cried when I read your message. You are just so sweet. Thank you. I feel sad to be so tired that I've not even been awake to enjoy our snuggles or to get to say proper goodbye to you before you leave for work. With all the drama, I seem to be crashing. I just need some serious sleep to catch up to normal levels again. I'll get there. Thank you for your love, thank you for your understanding, and thank you for your kindness. Mostly thank you for being you. I love you greatly. So grateful for TF love.
And you know, I really appreciate those loving texts back too. I needed to hear that too.
Okay, let's see you again.
Oh. Gonna go home soon to call Mom and Dad.
More parental challenges.
Yeah, more parental challenges.
Oh, here.
Oh, sorry, missed my cue.
Yep.
Dad sounds about 5 years older. He still wants to get the car fixed and would appreciate our
By the
help
way,
in
it was
transporting it.
just 4444. Angels! Yay for angels.
Nice
Sorry.
catch.
Yeah.
He does admit to being weaker, though. It's a race to the grave for Mom, and we talked about it, and he's not wanting to be alone. Everything is a waiting game, waiting to see who falters first. I would rather play a game of backgammon. Love you. This makes me appreciate the years that we have left.
Yeah.
My mom and dad, we were starting to understand that it really truly was a race. Mom had a head start, but was declining slowly. Dad seemed to be getting weaker every week.
Yep. Okay, I'm still debating if I should share this one. This is the laundry basket one. Should I tell about that or no?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Here we go.
I'm about
My turn to blush.
Yeah, I'm probably going to too. It's kind of a funny one, but it's our crazy, wacky sense of humor.
It's how we see things.
Even in stressful moments. I text Rob a couple days later and I said, I just had a moment too funny not to share. I was in the closet and turned around to see only underwear in the dirty clothes basket. 2 of yours and 2 of mine. It warmed my heart in a bizarre way. Made me feel so very happy that we are together and that our underwear snuggle together when we are apart. Made me feel huge amounts of love for you. Thank you for being in my life and my laundry basket. I love you today, tomorrow, and forever. We're crazy people.
I just texted back, nice story about the underwear.
You gotta have some humor amidst all the chaos.
Our underwear get to snuggle together.
Oh, God, eh?
Okay, that's an internal story. I hope somebody found some humor in that.
I think I'm going to skip that. Okay, we're on to the next pack.
Oh, we're on to a next pack.
We are.
Great. Do you get to start or do I?
It looks like you're starting, actually. Here, I'll take that off.
Oh, less paper clips. I said, just to let you know. Oh.
It's funny when you read and you go, oh, this is what I'm going to say. Can tell when he hasn't pre-read the text.
We've taken the first step to place Mom into palliative care. They weren't able to do a biopsy on Dad on Monday, so he has been rebooked for this coming Monday. He also had another bad fall on Saturday while getting ready for bed. This is just really rough.
Yep.
Get into union, all the struggles that we're having with external bits, and both my parents are now rocky as heck.
Downhill, yeah. I said, thanks for the update. Brings tears to my eyes. But at least they're on the way to getting more help. Yeah.
All right. I said, I'm not going to Edmonton next weekend unless I have to. I'm looking forward to a fun and activity-filled 2 days off. Love you.
In other words, we're just trying to have some sanity despite all the chaos going on with his parents. We were like starting to really burn out from everything going on. We're like, we need time.
I needed a weekend off. Off of work, off of Mom and Dad, off of everything.
Yeah.
I guess we all get to find out if that really happened. I didn't get to pre-read this part as per what she said.
Yeah. I said, you are very right. Now is the time to learn to put you first. Can't help others if you're empty and have nothing to give. So true, right? That's part of the learning on this path.
Oh. Is this... Oh, Mom stuff.
Mom stuff, yeah.
Mom stuff is weighing heavy on me today. Dad reports from his cancer doctor comes through today. My stomach is kind of in knots. Feels like hunger pains. We'll eat something to pacify hunger, even if hunger is probably not the issue.
I said, hugs, my love. I can imagine it's weighing on you. Know that I'm with you. Okay, where are we at? Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Oh.
Because we hadn't had enough going on.
I was at work and I said, Just had another Regan visit. Nothing bad.
And I'm like, what? Oh my God, are you kidding me? What happened?
I said, all good. Dropped off a letter of apology. Have not read. Too busy. He actually just wanted to just clear the air by coming clean, apologizing, and then he left, which was actually very big of him. He didn't have to do that. He chose to do that. I appreciated that.
But I'm going to clarify a bit in a minute here.
Yeah.
This was also the day that I was having my mediation appointment with him at the courthouse. And so it was in the morning that he dropped off the letter to Rob, and then in the afternoon we had the mediation. So I was like, oh my God, I got the shakes. And it so continues. Once again, my Mr. Unpredictable is unpredictable. Now I don't know what to expect at my mediation appointment. Is this a ploy? Is he being genuine? What is going on? So now to clarify, when you open the letter, there was like a slight apology, but it was really more manipulation tactics, more drama, more twisting things.
It was. There's even some advice on to how to handle Angie.
Yes. Because as if you didn't know me.
Yeah, I know. I just started dating her last week. I needed the help. I know.
Oh, okay. So then I said, wow, 3 hours of wasted time and energy only to find out that he's suing me for other things too. So now he had a second lawsuit against me.
An additional lawsuit. Isn't that nice?
Because I wasn't reacting, he was like, let's push it a little further. So then I text Rob and said, got the shakes today. Can't shake them.
Can't shake the shakes. LOL. Shakes comment. LOL.
So at least trying to find humor, right? I said, funny but try that I do. Things are getting worse. Goosebumps all over me. Thinking of hiding in the stairwell at work to call my mom. She helps calm me when I get this bad. How are you doing on so little sleep? I'm doing good because I have adrenaline flowing through me.
I said, I didn't even comment. I just said, things getting complicated in Edmonton. Care for Dad becoming an issue. Everyone is hanging on. I was lost in that world.
Yep. And now I'm lost in my world, so I didn't even respond to his stuff. So now, as much as we have love and compassion for each other, we're so deep in our own crap, we can't even be there for each other. So I said, just spoke with my lawyer. She's with everyone else in the new issue that he's trying to sue me on. Ignore it. Okay, good. So even my lawyer's advising me to ignore it, if you can imagine. Okay, so now this is August 5th, and just to explain before we read the next set of texts, the night before, I was starting to really panic with all of this lawsuit stuff that was going on. Now to have a potential second one, I was starting to think this is never going to go away. This is going to be years of my life before this man ever lets go. So I bawled. I remember sitting on the floor of our kind of living room area and begging you and saying, please leave my life because I don't want you to go through this. Now, that, looking back, is what unconditional love is, which is part of the reason why we had to go through all this, right? This is where you get to see what your love really is. That shows unconditional love. His reply also shows unconditional love.
I said, I had lost you the first time. I gave you up the first time, and I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to stick by us.
Yep. So in other words, I'm trying to let him go. As much as I love him, I'm like, please go to avoid all this hell. And he's like, no, I love you enough to go through hell with you.
I wasn't going to go anywhere. I was seeing this through to whatever end it had.
Now that is validation of twin flame love. When you have that point of you're going through hell together and you stick by each other, that's what this journey is about, right? Unconditional love. And this is why we go through the challenges. Yes, when you're in the midst of them, I know they suck. They suck for us. But then when you look back, you have such confidence. I know now He's not going anywhere. He knows now I'm not going anywhere. We are in this thick and thin. That's the journey. So the next morning, I said to him, "Hi, my love. Thank you so much for your patience, your kindness, and your love. You are the most gentle, kind, caring man I've ever experienced. And I'm sorry that the reflection of my past relationship causes me to doubt you and us. Please be patient as I work through my past so I can be fully present to you and us. I love you dearly and am eternally grateful to you and us." Oh.
And after all that beautiful message, about all I could say was, just got a call from my mom's palliative care. Mom has taken a bad turn, and they said that if anyone wants to see her, they should come soon.
Yeah. And I said, "Oh God, how are you with this news? Should we leave tonight or tomorrow right after work? Hug."
I said, I'm waiting for more info. I still want to go Sunday. If she is laying there unresponsive, I don't want to bother. I don't need to see that. If Dad needs me, I would go right away. I do not want to appear to be callous to anyone, though, so sociology may determine my actions. I totally want you with me if I go there, but that might be difficult.
And I was like, "I completely understand where you're coming from, and it's not at all callous of you. Of course I'll be there with you. Absolutely."
Oh yes, this message is from my parents' friend. It says, I just wanted you to know and be prepared for the bad news when it comes. She is not responding verbally.
In other words, his mom.
Yeah, my mom is not responding verbally to our friend.
Yeah.
She holds my hand, so I think she knows I'm there. I promised her that I would be here for her so that she wouldn't be alone. I don't know if your dad told you about himself, but the doctor told him yesterday that they can't do anything for him either, and that it's his cancer has come back and that it is terminal for him too. I will let you know how things proceed.
And I said, "Oh, thanks. As we suspected for your dad, he may go down quick between the news of his own stuff and your mom's passing. We know these days were coming. Doesn't make it any easier, though, I'm sure. Lots of love and hugs to you, my dear."
So we are at which date now?
Would have been August.
August 13th.
Oh, hang
Oh,
on.
just a little bit ahead. We are at the point now on August 9th, which was only...
This was just before that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Because we were talking about going to Edmonton.
Yep. Things will become a blur for me as I prepare to leave for Edmonton, so please be patient. We'll advise of my departure from work, which is about 2:30ish in the afternoon, way early. Time at home will be at least 2 hours, and once I'm there is much to do. We'll be doing a load of laundry, and if anything, that will help me force me pace myself. Love, Rob.
So we had gotten the call that his mom was on the verge of passing and hurry up and get there. So that's why he was leaving work early and going home to do some laundry. So we had some clean clothes to take because we didn't know how long we'd be gone. We both had to give our work quick notice and we were gone. So if you want to...
Yeah. On that August 9th, my mom passed away. So yeah, it was very shortly after my dad got the news that he couldn't be treated for his bit. Mom passed away, so now I am in mourning.
Yes, and you had time off work, and that's what this text is about.
I said, just picked up my phone to see your first text of about 20 minutes ago. I answered one text right after you left and then spent the next 4.5 hours working in the garage. I'm doing okay-ish. Not emotional, but I'm a bit detached from being sharp. I wish I could just play hero, but I'm being a bit antisocial today, so I avoided my phone. I will check my phone frequently now. I love you. Let me know if I can do much else. P.S. This is a long span of time at the house without you. Considering our togetherness lately, I'm starting to miss you. We've been together lots.
Yes,
Because I had a bit of time off.
Yeah, and because we were in Edmonton for quite a bit of the time.
I also said, you might just be starting to breathe now with a few hours away from me. So different we are. I was recognizing that being together is what I crave, and what being apart sometimes is what she needs to decompress.
Because us introverts need our space. It doesn't matter how much we love our other person, we need our alone time.
And us extroverts, just got our 1 hour notice.
Which is good, because we're pretty much done. So I said, LOL, laughing to his how we're so different on some levels. I said, missing you too. Agree, it is a long time apart after much time together. Distracted by lots of work, though, of course, catching up after being away. Very glad you're taking care of yourself. Love you lots, my dear, and many hugs. So I don't know if we talk about this in the next video. I have a note to talk about it now, so if we end up talking about it in the next video, that's okay too. But Rob's mom's memorial was August 22nd. And why I wanted to share this is, again, this shows such deep, unconditional love. I was so distraught the morning of his mom's memorial, unfortunately, not just about her stuff and, him being sad, but about my own stuff with my karmic, because he was still pushing now this second lawsuit. And I was so freaked out that here I am supposed to be supporting Rob on the day he's having this memorial for his mom, yet I am such an emotional wreck that he's supporting me. I'm laying in bed in the hotel room that morning, bawling my eyes out because I am in such fear, such anxiety over my stuff, that he's loving and supporting and hugging me when I should have been supporting him. I felt like such crap over it, but again, true validation of unconditional love. So grateful for twin flame love, because it just shows how you really do love each other. When times are tough, you're there for each other. And we were.
Yes, very much so.
We were.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is the end. So on that note, because I've just discovered the whole thing about narcissism, if others of you are going through that with somebody, just a little word of support. It is for your blessing and greatest gift. Know that you're not a victim. There's lots of information on the internet. Do research, read about it, learn about it, and grow from it. As you can see, we've healed from it. You can move past it. And we're going to actually show you in the next video how we moved past it and actually changed things on an amazing level. So on that note, we're going to say goodnight. We love you. We thank you for always connecting with us, your comments, all of our new subscribers. I always forget to welcome you at the beginning because I'm always like, we got so much to say, let's get into it. But welcome to all of you new subscribers, wherever you are watching our videos. We're happy to connect with you. As always, remember to go within to connect with your twin. And we will catch you in the next video. Love you guys. Bye.